In light of the criticism that there has been of Mr. Blair's knighthood, and this revelation about the instruction to burn the memo has been fuel for those opposed to that honour for Mr. Blair. Do you think that it has, that the story that you had to tell has a bearing on whether or not his knighthood is appropriate?
Well, I certainly think it's appropriate. I have absolutely no difficulty in believing that former Prime Minister, especially one who Prime Minister for as long as he was and faced the challenges that he faced and generally speaking, led an extremely successful government. So I can't think that it would be appropriate to prevent Her Majesty from granting that honour, not least because I know from my time in the Ministry of Defence, very many senior generals, admirals, chiefs of the air staff are automatically ennobled or given titles. Similarly, senior civil servants are knighted. So I don't have any difficulty with the fact that Tony Blair, who was arguably the most successful Labour Prime Minister in history, should receive that honour. I think he thoroughly deserves it.
Something else interesting that I picked up on in my reading, you suggest that where Gordon Brown was fiercely loyal to those around him, to his team, and would go into bat whenever he felt that they were being, unduly challenged or threatened. But on the contrary, you seem to interpret Mr. Blair as tending to overlook those who supported him while promoting those who were less supportive of where he wanted to take the country. That's a very interesting character trait. And I loved when you said as well that you had been described in a profile somewhere as being Blairite before Tony Blair was leader of the Labour Party. But I wonder how you felt about that those that were keen to support him would perhaps take for granted while seeking to offer advancement to those who didn't.
That was certainly my consistent impression from quite early on. And in truth, I've never understood why that was the case. You'd have to have Tony Blair on your programme to answer that question. I simply do not know the answer. But certainly you're quite right that Gordon Brown was fiercely loyal to his team, to his supporters, and ensured that they were looked after and promoted at every opportunity. And simply, I guess I write about it because that was something that was true, in my experience, right through their respective leaderships of the Labour Party and being Prime Minister.